In this video, I'm going to share with you how you can get started today in real estate investing even if you don't have the cash or the credit. Hey, I'm Juan Pablo from 100% Finance, where we share with you how you can get the credit, business credit, and knowledge needed to acquire cash flowing multi-unit properties so you can say goodbye to the 9 to 5. If you're new to our channel, then please subscribe so you can get notifications of the new video releases, as well as check out the descriptions below. We have a ton of resources, whether it's webinars, applications, things, tools that are needed for you to embark upon this journey of being a financially free real estate investor. All right, and if you stay to the end, I'm going to share with you a bonus that you don't want to miss. Stay tuned. Sure, certain real estate strategies, because there's more than one, right, require tens if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to get started, or requires super pretty credit, 780 or higher, 720 or higher, and so forth, right? You might not have tens if not $100,000 in the bank right now or access to it through mortgages and financing, or you might not have the credit to leverage to get into financing. I get that, but we'll dive into it. But first I want you to hear this quote. It was a quote that I heard a long time ago that really shifted my mindset in regard to how I should carry myself as a real estate investor and business person. The road to success is not quite linear. In fact, it's simultaneous. What do you mean by that? Let's dive into it. It's important to have the mindset that you need to have multiple moving pieces going on all at once. However, those multiple moving pieces going on all at once doesn't necessarily have to require your full undivided attention. This is what I mean by that. You may not have the credit or the cash right now. You want to get started on real estate investing. Great. Okay, so while you're learning real estate investing, why not enroll in credit repair? Instead of just thinking, well, my credit score is not at to the point where I wanted to be, so I'm just going to just keep that on the back burner, giving no focus. I'm just going to focus on learning real estate investing. No, the road to success is not always linear, meaning I got to learn real estate investing first, or I got to start credit repair first and not learn real estate, and then I got to, no. You can do this stuff all at the same time. Fix your credit, right? If it's not 680 or higher, and if you have some negative items on there, then by golly, fix that credit and get those negative items off your credit report. Enroll in credit repair, have someone else do it, so you can focus on investing in real estate while you have a professional in which that's their day-to-day operations, their area of expertise, handle your credit needs for you. And then once your credit gets up to a 680, then you can apply for business credit. There you have again, another advisor, another professional, another coach advise you on your funding needs. So while you're getting your credit fixed by a team of people, while you're getting your business credit by a team of people, you should also be focused on how can you increase your cash reserves as well. So instead of just thinking, well, I'm just going to invest in real estate without the credit or the cash, I'm going to be creative. Again, get those things straight. Get your credit straight and start building up your cash. Now, how can you start building up your cash? There's a great book right here. It's called Profit First. I'm not sure if you see it right here. Really great book. He talks about, most people have the mindset of, have this formula in mind, that revenue minus expenses equals profit. It's not true. It's actually reverse. Revenue minus profit equals expenses. So it's important to say, like, okay, if you want to save $1,000 a month, so that way you can start building up your reserves to invest in real estate, then if you make $5,000 a month, minus that $1,000 you want to use as your profit/savings, that means you have to live off $4,000. You might say, well, Juan, my personal living expenses are $4,800. Well, you might have to cut some living expenses or be creative. Here's another quote that I love. Limitations is the birthplace of creativity. When you're faced with limits, self-imposed limits, then you'll start to be creative to see how you can reduce those personal living expenses. All right, so get your credit fixed. When you're at a 680, apply for business credit and reduce your personal expenses, okay? But the other thing I want to lead you with is increase your income. And I'm not saying increase it from your job, but from this one particular real estate strategy, which we're getting into right now. All right, so there's three main real estate strategies. One is buy and hold, which is my favorite. That produces passive income, rental properties in other words. So that way, whether I work or not, or do a video or not, I still have income coming in passively. Passive income is income received on a consistent basis with little or no work required. Now the second real estate strategy is flipping properties. Now that does require some time involved, meaning you have to have some great management skills because you have to manage teams such as general contractors, mortgage lenders, or hard money lenders, however you're financing the flip. So there's a lot of moving pieces, right? So with level of credit and cash required, there's a lot more credit and cash required to buy and hold. Unless you use creative financing, that's different, but that's not the purpose of this video. With flipping, it does require some credit and capital, but less than buy and hold. But the third strategy, in which you long awaited for, because I know I went off on some tangents, but I just wanted to just break it down for you guys, right? The mindsets along with skill sets. But it's wholesaling. Wholesaling real estate is getting a property under contract with a motivated seller, and you assign your contract to an end buyer, someone who's a buy and hold investor or a flipper who may want that property. And you assign it or sell your contract for a spread, for a fee. So for example, you get the property under contract with a motivated seller, someone who's in a need to sell, not want to sell position, for $40,000. Then you have an end buyer, a buy and hold investor or a flipper who wants to buy that property for $45,000 because they know that after they put $20,000 of work in it, it'll be worth $100,000. So they'll be willing to pay you that $5,000 fee to get that property off your hands. Okay, so that is a great way of moving forward real estate investing without having capital or credit. So don't get me wrong, some capital is required. So of course, in order to get wholesale deals, you might need a phone line, right? You might need internet, you might need a device to search for deals and so forth, and analyze the property and so forth. So you gotta have some startup costs, plus you need to have lead generation. You need to have a list of motivated buyers. So that does require some money and some of your time as well. But out of all three strategies, wholesaling requires the least amount of credit and cash needed, but it does require the most amount of time needed. Because as a wholesaler, you're pretty much a networking and marketing genius. You have to network, meaning have a bunch of motivated sellers as well as buyers who may want to buy your property. And you have to market like crazy for these deals. You have to market for these motivated sellers, and you have to market those deals you get under contract to your buyers list consistently. So it does require a tad bit more time on your behalf. But in regard to dollars per hour, it is the highest paid real estate profession out there. It's so true, right? You might spend 10 to 15 hours a week wholesaling, and let's say you get a deal a month, right? Just to be conservative, and that deal produces $5,000 in income for you. So if you work 10 hours a week times 4 weeks, that's 40 hours a week, or let's say 50 hours a month, excuse me. Let's say you work 50 hours a month to make $5,000. You do the math, that's $100 an hour. Easy money, right? And you're just doing one deal a month. I'm not saying you're doing one deal a month without having a team or robust systems in place. It's highly doable, and I highly recommend it if you're in that situation. Again, get your credit fixed, get a 680, apply for business credit so you can use that for buy and hold. But in regard to your spare time, use that time wisely to wholesale, in addition to reducing your personal living expenses to the point where you have maybe about $30,000, saved up because you might have did 6 wholesale deals, right? Which is doable in 6 months. Then you can use that capital to buy your first buy and hold property. So that way you can stop trading your hours for dollars wholesaling, because it's pretty much a self-employed job, right? It's a side job, side hustle, for lack of a better word. But instead of just focusing on that, then you can use those capital reserves that you're building to start buying long-term wealth, rental properties, passive income. So that way you can choose to stop working if you would like, or you can leave an inheritance to your children's children, which I highly recommend. All right. So I just want to share that with you. I know it was a little bit long-winded. I know I tackled a lot about the mindsets, but now I want to get into the bonus. All right, here's the bonus. If you haven't caught it already, I'm going to say it in plain language. Use your wholesale strategy to feed your buy and hold strategy. Wholesale 6 deals and then buy a multi-unit rental property. So for every 6 deals that you do, use that to buy a buy and hold property. Does that make sense? In addition to doing that, you're repairing your credit and you're applying for business credit as well. Why? Because you're trying to see where all the capital which you can raise to go into doing bigger and better buy and hold rental properties. So don't get stuck in the rut of being a wholesaler. There's nothing wrong with wholesaling, don't get me wrong. There's many people who do it full time and make a great income by doing it, but they always have to trade their hours for dollars. So I want to make sure that you have the right mindset that wholesaling is a means to an end. It's all going to lead down to buy and hold property so you can have passive income. Alright, so guys, if you're interested in learning more about wholesaling, buy and hold, credit repair, business credit, just check out the links below. We have a lot of resources that you can use at your disposal. And always, guys, to your success, continue to earn passively, live passionately. Peace.